This is crazy. Major New Jersey Devils injury updates coming from Game 1 against Carolina. It's got head coach Sheldon Keefe looking like this. Man, he's got some decisions to make. I'm Ryan the Gosiker here on Devils Digest. It's a pleasure to be with all of you. Sometimes it's not such a pleasure, especially when doing so after a Devils loss. But I'm here to bring you the latest and greatest Devils content, as we always do here on Devils Digest. So first, hit that subscribe button, and we'll get right into the show. Now, the Devils Game 1, there's a whole lot to break down in terms of that. We're not going to necessarily spend a ton of time here. Let's just put it this way. That was your middle school bullying on the playground, at the bike rack, 3 o'clock. He's 4 times bigger than you, and you just get squashed like a bug. That's what David and Goliath happens 99 times out of 100. The only time they put it in Hollywood is the 1 time out of 100 where David actually wins. But the Goliath in this was Carolina. The Devils just got completely outplayed, outclassed, out everything you could imagine. The Devils were out in that game. And now, speaking of out, the Devils sustained a few injuries in this game, ones that they really cannot afford to have going forward. Now, one of them is to Brenden, Dillon, one of their starting defensemen, who, again, we came into the series and we were talking about how it's great that they got Dougie Hamilton back. Means the kids won't have to play in this series, kids being Shimon Nemec and Seamus Casey, because you knew the Carolina forecheck is nasty, downright nasty. And I mean nasty. Carolina fans, don't come knocking at my door, okay? They are nasty in such a good way. They're so physical. They're relentless. They're nonstop. They are on top of you for 60 minutes a game. They are going at it, trying to forecheck and get inside and really beat up your defense. And the Devils, that happened in this game. Brenden Dillon got hurt. Luke Hughes got hurt. Now, Luke Hughes came back, right? So we're not terribly concerned about that, although it was the shoulder. I don't know what's going on with the Hughes brothers and their shoulders. I mean, maybe they can have mine, okay? It seems like a pretty big shoulder, all right? They can have my shoulder, okay? If it will just keep them on the ice a little bit more often, okay? They can have the shoulder off of my body in order to stay healthy. But Luke did come back, so that was good to see. Now, Brenden Dillon being out, what does that mean now? That means one of the kids is going to come back. We know Jonas Siegenthaler's been skating more, effectively, but they said he's not going to be cleared for round 1. So he would only return to the Devils if they make it past the first round against Carolina. Now, just looking at the other injury is Cody Glass, and we're going to get to all of that here in just a second. Now, head coach Sheldon Keefe said right now everybody's being evaluated. They're not ruling anybody out at this time. Now, like I said, Luke Hughes being back is, that he came back into the game is a good sign. I don't know if that means he's going to miss the next game. I'm sure this morning it didn't feel too great when he woke up. But you would expect Luke Hughes to play. Brenden Dillon, allegedly, I believe it was said, it should be here, Dillon was eager to come back. Doctors held him out as precautionary reasons. Now, NHL injuries, as I've mentioned, are terrible because they give you nothing, right? We don't know. We know that Dillon was eager to come back in the game, but what was he eager to come back from? What did the doctors hold him out for precautionary reasons? You would assume that if, in fact, the statement is true, and it comes from Sheldon Keefe, so we have no reason to believe necessarily that's a lie, but if this is, in fact, true, you would expect Brenden Dillon back in the lineup for Game 2. And they're going to need him, right? Because otherwise one of the kids is playing. And again, maybe you're not a fan of Dillon, and I know I saw his player card from yesterday, and the time that he did play, he was the worst Devil on the ice. I believe it was him. Dougie was second worst, and Glass was the third worst. So 2 guys that got hurt and a guy playing his second game in a month and a half. So not very good for New Jersey. And the other, as I mentioned, the Cody Glass injury was so weird because he really got, and you could see here, there's Cody Glass, and he gets hurt on this Jacob Markstrom. I'm not sure if you can fully see it here. I should have pulled the video for you guys, but Jacob Markstrom went to take his stick and whack the Hurricane in front of the net that you can see just to the right of Cody Glass, and he didn't catch the Hurricane. He caught Cody Glass. So it really was a self-inflicted wound. So when you look at the Devils' season, I mean, Jack Hughes going down. Nico Hischier missed time. Markstrom missed 5 to 6 weeks. Okay, now you're looking at Dillon's down. Luke Hughes went back to the locker room. Cody Glass is down. Man, at what point does this turn into Rocky IV when Apollo Creed is fighting Drago and he's saying, throw in the damn towel. Throw in the damn towel. At what point do we realize as Devil fans that this isn't our year? At what point does that happen? Right? Because these injuries are continuing to pile up. This team, as injury-free constructed, is not complete. Now you start picking apart. You take off their best player. You take off Jonas Siegenthaler. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you can look this up. Jonas Siegenthaler ended top 3 in the NHL of defensemen this year in a lot of the advanced stats. So they finished without him for 2 full months, and they probably won't get him back unless they're able to win this series. So you keep plucking. If you pluck leaves off of a tree, right, eventually it don't look like a tree anymore. Eventually it looks like something different, and that's what this Devils team really has been. And we know their leaders at the top: Bratt, Hischier, Meier. Nico scored yesterday. Again, looking for Bratt to have more of an impact, but I'll leave the game 2 adjustments for my colleague Aiden Barrett to touch upon on that. But in terms of the injuries, at what point is enough? At what point is too much? And the Devils are just, the injury bug continues to bite them in the rear end. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, because what do you do, right? You go into this game, Carolina's going to be physical. Brenden Dillon's supposed to be one of the more physical guys on the team, right? Anytime somebody's needed defense this year, anybody's, you got to start a fight to get the crowd into it, it's Brenden Dillon. So now he's getting punked around by Carolina. What is it like? What does that message go to the rest of the team, right? I mean, when your bully gets bullied, then what? So the Devils are in for a gut check moment in game 2. But again, I remind folks, and I'm sure my colleague Aiden Barrett will touch upon this. I was there when the Devils lost 5-1 in game 1 and game 2 against the Rangers 2 years ago. Came back to win that series. Now, it's a lot different. I think winning at Raleigh is a lot different than winning at Madison Square Garden. But fans, the Devils got to be healthy. They got to find a way, because Shimon Nemec or Seamus Casey coming into this disaster right now, if you thought Brenden Dillon was going to get punked in this series, could you imagine what the kids will do? It's crazy, man. But listen, sit back, enjoy it. We'll update you with any updates. But Devils lose Brenden Dillon, Luke Hughes, and Cody Glass in game 1. Luke Hughes returns to the ice. We'll see what their status is for game 2. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. We'll see what head coach Sheldon Keefe has to say, and we'll respond to it. So everybody, again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Leave us a comment. What do you think? At what point is enough with the injuries? Okay, and be one of our first subscribers to the channel. And I appreciate you, whether you're listening, watching. I know my colleague Aiden Barrett appreciates you as well. So everybody have a great day, and we'll catch you next time on Devil's Digest.